everybody, it's Tatiana, and today I have for you four, I think, books that I would love to see as movies or television show adaptations, but I don't trust Hollywood not to fuck them up. So it's like I would love to see adaptations of this, but I don't trust you all with my shit. So maybe not. But I'm gonna share this list with you anyway. So here we go. Book number one would be No Surprise, and I have to reach up to get it. Kindred by Octavia Butler. However, this book is set in the 70s, and it takes Dana back in time, but I would love for this to be set in today's time on the adaptation, and take the main character, have Dana be taken from like 2015 back to slave times, and not just dealing with having to be a modern black woman, a modern free black woman, dealing with the strains, the emotional strains of not being able to control what's happening to you, with you being taken back and sucked back into this time, but also being sucked back into this time without the modern conveniences that we have become accustomed to, and dealing with the harshness and the brutality and the dehumanization of slave times in comparison and conjunction with the bullshit that we have going on today. And yeah, I think it could be done so well, but so many times I'm like, my fear is that more focus would be paid on the actual act of slavery that she's being drawn into versus the impact of the experience on her and her husband while they're dealing with this. And I think that is the more important part of this story. Yes, the brutality that she has to deal with and the trouble that she has being even a modern woman from the 70s causes a problem for her, but I think the internal issues that she has to deal with, and also like what happens to her or how she lives life after this experience. Like, they could even take some freedom with the storyline and have the after put in there, but I'm so scared that they would do so much to screw up the actual during that the after, I would be mad by the time we got to the after. But this isn't a surprise to anyone, right? The next one on the list is a graphic novel series, and I'm not going over to my graphic novel shelf to get it, but that is the Giant Days series. Now, this is what I would love to happen, because the Giant Days series is a graphic novel series and it's drawn more cartoon style, but I would love for it to be done live action with these crazy, eccentric, experimenting, developing characters set in university in the UK, but not have all of the characters be UK or European, like Europe based, if that makes any sense. Like, have a character, and it doesn't, like, not necessarily even the main characters, because you have the three main characters, but then they also have friends who they bring into the story. So have the three main characters be from different places like they are in the story, but maybe have one that's from the US or South America or Canada, and then have some of the side characters who are brought into the main storyline be from other places and other continents in the world, so that it is much more rounded than the actual graphic novel series is, but still have the shenanigans and the tomfoolery that happens with these kids being in college and having to deal with these different experiences that you go through and that you see for the first time when you go to college, and even, you know, having the homeschooled character who's never been exposed to this versus the character who is outgoing and overexposed, and neither one of them handle this situation well. I think it would just be great to see that in live action format and see how it would be a real test for actors and actresses to see how you carry these characters out, because they are extreme. Like, I wouldn't want it toned down at all. I would want the characters to be played as extremely ridiculous and over the top as they are in the graphic novel series, and have all of those different personalities come to mesh. Because one thing I think it will show is how to deal with and create relationships with people who are so different from the type of person that you are, and so different from the background that you have. And we as a people we just suck with dealing with that. And that is something that has been made more and more evident over the past few years, even though it's something that those of us who ain't dumb have always known. The next one on the list, number 3, is The Wolf Gift by Anne Rice. If you will recall, and I read The Wolf Gift, I want to say in 2014, and I read it as an audiobook. And I said in my review that if I had picked the book up in print, I would not have finished it because it's so gross. There are some parts of that novel that are just so disgusting, and as I'm listening to the narrator read it, I'm like, ew. But I think graphically it would be a wonderful story to take, and of course it couldn't be like on any kind of network television, but it would be a wonderful story to take and show a different take on the werewolf and how werewolves are made and the secret society behind it, and then like get the guy who read the audiobook, because he read the audiobook for both The Wolf Gift and The Wolves of Midwinter. Where is book 3? But get the guy who did the audiobook. I will pull his name up and put a caption of it, to do the voiceover of what the main character is thinking when he is in wolf form. I think it could be so awesome. And yeah, again, I don't think that Hollywood would do a good job with that either. And I just wish Hollywood did a better job of adaptations. That's really the point of this video. But before I end it at that, I'm going to share with you the last book that I would love to see adapted, but Hollywood will mess it up. The last book that I would love to see adapted, and literally only because it is my favorite book in this series, and 3 other books have been adapted and not my favorite. What the hell? The Magician's Nephew by C.S. Lewis. This is the first book in series order for the Chronicles of Narnia. They have adapted The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Prince Caspian, and even The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. Like, that surprised the shit out of me that they chose to adapt that one. But you didn't choose to adapt this one, where we get the information on how Narnia was created, and how the White Witch got to be where and how she is, and how the fucking lamppost that's in the woods where Mr. Tumnus is comes to be in the fucking woods. And there's so much about, oh, and how the wardrobe came to be. Like, this is the origin story of Narnia. And there's just so much about this book that's so great, and I think it's not given the credit that it should be given, because the series, if you don't know, was not written in the order that C.S. Lewis wanted the series to go. I think The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe was written first, but when all of the books were finished and it came time to put them in order for the series, The Magician's Nephew, if you read it, you understand why The Magician's Nephew is put first in the series order, because this is where everything begins. And there is this wonderful male-female friendship between 2 kids in this story, and they're not related. There is just a boy and a girl who who are really good friends and what they experience when they travel to Narnia for the first time, and how all of these things that has created the rest of, not created, but that you see in the other books and in the other movies show, but they never adapted this one. And I would actually trust Hollywood to not screw this one up, because I think they did a really good job with the 3 that they put out there. So I will, for this is the exception to the rule. I don't think they would screw it up because they've done such a good job with the others. But I don't understand why this one was not adapted for a movie. Like, seriously, when the creation of Narnia happens, I had to put the book down because I was bawling, because it's so beautiful. And I was really surprised. I really felt like I had punked myself out. I was really surprised when that happened. But yeah, I don't understand why this has never been adapted. I need somebody to fix that. Somebody with the money to do it. With the acclaim to get the right staff to do it. Because this is pre-Pevensies. Everything after this just about has the Pevensies in it. But this is pre-Pevensies. This is pre-wardrobe. So I think that these are 4 stories that would really translate well, but excluding the last one, I don't think Hollywood would do them justice. If you agree with me, disagree with me, whatever, talk to me in the comments below. If there has been an adaptation done that you think Hollywood screwed up, share in the comments below. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.